Which historical development most directly led to the creation of the United Kingdom as a single political entity in 1707? A. The English Civil War. B. The first Act of Union between England and Scotland. C. The Magna Carta. D. The Glorious Revolution. Answer: B. The 1707 Act of Union united the Scottish and English parliaments, forming Great Britain. It was a voluntary political agreement driven by economic interests and stability, not a result of war or revolution. Who was the first British Prime Minister to serve during Queen Elizabeth II's reign? A. Winston Churchill. B. Harold Macmillan. C. Clement Attlee. D. Anthony Eden. Answer: A. Churchill served as Prime Minister when the young Queen Elizabeth II took the throne in 1952. His leadership marked a symbolic transition between wartime Britain and the modern Commonwealth era. Which British value is most associated with the principle that public institutions must treat people fairly regardless of background? A. Individual liberty. B. Tolerance. C. Rule of law. D. Equality. Answer: D. Equality ensures that all people have the same rights and opportunities under public institutions. It is deeply embedded in the UK's democratic and social systems. What was the main long-term impact of the Black Death on medieval Britain's economy? A. Expansion of the feudal system. B. Increased power for landowners. C. Rise in worker wages and decline of feudalism. D. Establishment of the Church of England. Answer: C. The massive population loss increased demand for labour, empowering workers to demand higher wages. This shift weakened the feudal system and helped create a more flexible labour market. Which UK nation has a distinct legal system separate from the laws of England and Wales? A. Northern Ireland. B. Scotland. C. Wales. D. Isle of Man. Answer: B. Scotland retains its own legal system based on Roman and common law traditions, giving it unique courts and legal procedures within the UK. What major political change occurred in Britain as a direct result of the Reform Act of 1832? A. Women gained the right to vote. B. Rotten boroughs were abolished. C. The monarchy lost all legislative power. D. The House of Lords was abolished. Answer: B. The 1832 Reform Act removed corrupt boroughs with tiny electorates and expanded representation to growing industrial towns, marking a major step toward a modern democratic system. Which UK landmark is most strongly associated with the signing of the Magna Carta in 1215? A. Westminster Abbey. B. Glastonbury Tor. C. Runnymede. D. Carnarvon Castle. Answer: C. The Magna Carta was signed at Runnymede as a peace agreement limiting the king's power. It laid the foundation for legal rights and constitutional development. What is the main purpose of the UK's devolved parliaments and assemblies? A. To enforce UK-wide taxation. B. To create regional laws for specific local needs. C. To manage foreign policy. D. To control the British Army. Answer: B. Devolution allows Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland to pass laws relevant to their unique social and cultural priorities, while the UK Parliament handles national matters. Which event marks the official beginning of the constitutional monarchy in Britain? A. Coronation of Queen Victoria. B. Norman Conquest. C. Glorious Revolution of 1688. D. Battle of Waterloo. Answer: C. The Glorious Revolution limited the monarch's power and guaranteed Parliament supremacy, shaping the modern British constitutional system. Which British city is historically recognised as the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution? A. Birmingham. B. Manchester. C. Glasgow. D. Leeds. Answer: A. Birmingham's technological innovation and metalworking industries led the early phase of industrial development, influencing global economic change. Which group of people were granted the right to vote in the UK for the first time in 1918? A. All women. B. Women over 30 and all men over 21. C. Men over 18 and women over 18. D. Only aristocrats. Answer: B. The 1918 Representation of the People Act extended voting rights to all men and older women, marking a major milestone toward universal suffrage. What is the primary responsibility of the Speaker of the House of Commons? A. Supporting the Prime Minister. B. Maintaining order and fairness during debates. C. Drafting new legislation. D. Representing the UK abroad. Answer: B. The Speaker ensures debates are conducted impartially, controlling who speaks and enforcing parliamentary rules without party allegiance. Which war resulted in the UK gaining control over large parts of India? A. Crimean War. B. American Revolutionary War. C. 7 Years' War. D. Boer War. Answer: C. The British victory in the 7 Years' War allowed the East India Company to expand its influence, forming the basis for British India. Which British cultural achievement is most associated with William Caxton? A. Writing the first English dictionary. B. Establishing the first printing press in England. C. Creating the first public library. D. Inventing the English alphabet. Answer: B. Caxton introduced printing to England in 1476, transforming literacy, literature, and record-keeping across the nation. What does the term the Troubles refer to in British history? A. A political dispute between Scotland and England. B. A financial crisis affecting the monarchy. C. A conflict in Northern Ireland. D. A war between Britain and France. Answer: C. The Troubles describes decades of conflict involving sectarian violence and political tension in Northern Ireland, lasting from the 1960s to 1998. Which British monarch oversaw the expansion of the English Navy and defeated the Spanish Armada? A. Henry VIII. B. Elizabeth I. C. George III. D. Queen Victoria. Answer: B. Elizabeth I strengthened the navy to resist Spanish invasion, and the 1588 victory became a defining moment in British national identity. Which treaty officially ended the First World War for Britain and its allies? A. Treaty of Windsor. B. Treaty of Paris. C. Treaty of Versailles. D. Good Friday Agreement. Answer: C. The 1919 Treaty of Versailles established peace terms after World War I, reshaping Europe and confirming Britain's role as a major global power. The Union flag combines elements from the crosses of which patron saints? A. Saint David, Saint George, Saint Edmund. B. Saint George, Saint Andrew, Saint Patrick. C. Saint Andrew, Saint Patrick, Saint David. D. Saint George, Saint David, Saint Michael. Answer: B. The modern Union flag merges the national symbols of England, Scotland, and Ireland, reflecting historical unions within the UK. Which Prime Minister introduced the National Health Service, NHS, in 1948? A. Winston Churchill. B. Harold Wilson. C. Clement Attlee. D. Margaret Thatcher. Answer: C. Attlee's Labour government established the NHS, providing free healthcare at the point of use, one of the UK's most significant social reforms. Which British landmark is traditionally associated with crowning new monarchs? A. Tower of London. B. Westminster Abbey. C. Windsor Castle. D. St. Paul's Cathedral. Answer: B. Westminster Abbey has been the coronation church since 1066, symbolising continuity in the British monarchy. Which Immigration Act first officially restricted entry into the UK from Commonwealth countries? A. Immigration Act 1981. B. Commonwealth Immigrants Act 1962. C. British Nationality Act 1948. D. Race Relations Act 1965. Answer: B. The 1962 Act introduced selective controls, marking a major shift in the UK's post-war immigration policy. Which English writer is known for helping standardise the English language through widespread printing of his works? A. Charles Dickens. B. William Shakespeare. C. Geoffrey Chaucer. D. Thomas More. Answer: B. Shakespeare's printed works across England helped shape modern English vocabulary, grammar, and expression. Which region of the UK is traditionally known for producing slate and hosting early mining communities? A. Yorkshire. B. Kent. C. Cornwall. D. North Wales. Answer: D. North Wales has long been famous for slate mining, which played a vital role in its industrial heritage. What is the main purpose of the UK Supreme Court, established in 2009? A. To create new laws. B. To resolve constitutional and legal disputes at the highest level. C. To approve government budgets. D. To oversee military decisions. Answer: B. The Supreme Court became the UK's final court of appeal, strengthening judicial independence by separating it from Parliament. Which British celebration marks the failure of the Gunpowder Plot of 1605? A. Hogmanay. B. Burns Night. C. Bonfire Night. D. May Day. Answer: C. Bonfire Night, celebrated every 5th November, commemorates the foiling of a plot to blow up Parliament, symbolising national loyalty to democracy.